A sudden clash in the alliance or a calculated diplomatic pivot? US President Donald Trump orders the Pentagon to dramatically scale back major joint military exercises with South Korea, citing soaring costs, a cozy rapport with Kim Jong-un, and Seoul's refusal to back Washington's campaigns abroad. We break down the geopolitical shockwaves hitting the Korean Peninsula and what this means for global security. Hello and welcome back to NewsX World Explained with me, Ruby Barlow. Today we're looking at a major geopolitical upset out of Asia, where US President Donald Trump has decided to place diplomatic pressure on one of the US's most important military relationships, South Korea. Citing financial burdens, his personal friendship with Kim Jong-un, and the Iran war, Trump has instructed the Pentagon to cut back joint military exercises with South Korea. Let's break down why Trump's justification for this decision, what it means for the region, and whether American priorities are shifting away from the Indo-Pacific. At the center of this storm are the Ulchi Freedom Shield exercises, the massive, long-standing joint annual military drills between the US and South Korean forces. Designed to run for over a week with roughly 18,000 South Korean troops normally involved alongside American personnel, these drills are structured to bolster combined defense posture. Crucially, this year's training incorporates cutting-edge modern warfare scenarios, including countermeasures against drones, GPS jamming, and cyber attacks. These adaptations are vital for South Korea, especially as North Korea rapidly evolves its combat capabilities and shares troops and munitions with Russia for the war in Ukraine. But President Trump made it clear that operational necessity took a backseat to his personal foreign policy playbook. Announcing the directive on his social media platform, Truth Social, just as the drills were set to kick off, Trump argued that the war games are not only financially burdensome to the US, but also send a totally inappropriate and hostile signal to Pyongyang. Trump also mentions his personal rapport with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, noting that North Korea has remained unthreatening and respectful during his time in the White House. It's a continuation of Trump's long-standing skepticism toward traditional military displays, echoing his first-term efforts to halt what he frequently called provocative and expensive war games. But also important to note that this language is very unusual given the US's formal alliance with South Korea. Yet, personal fondness for Kim wasn't the only factor at play here. Geopolitical friction from the Middle East may have also been a contributing factor. In his post, he also expressed annoyance that Seoul declined requests to join Washington's military efforts in the Iran war, so perhaps an element of retribution in this move. There's also the factor of the shifting of key strategic assets. The USS George Washington aircraft carrier is moving from Vietnam into the Middle East to replace the USS Abraham Lincoln, leaving a security vacuum in Asia. There's also been complaints on board the USS Abraham Lincoln of poor mental health for sailors, as it has surpassed 200 days at sea. Potentially, what we see here is a backdrop of shifting regional dynamics. South Korea's previous political nudges and domestic desires for independent diplomatic outreach toward Pyongyang add another element that we should consider. Meanwhile, North Korea has aggressively deepened its alignment with Moscow, supplying thousands of troops and conventional artillery for Russia's war in Ukraine in exchange for advanced military tech. These military drills between South Korea and the US were supposed to address those exact concerns. For regional watchers, Trump's latest order raises a deeper question. Are American military priorities shifting away from long-term primacy in the Indo-Pacific toward more localized transactional demands? So what happens next as the scaled-down drills proceed under the shadow of the White House directive? The Korean Peninsula remains a theatre of uncertainty. The US president's decision to cut back on these drills may signal deeper unhappiness with South Korea and potential further ramifications. Stay tuned on NewsX World for more analysis and explainers like this one.